My name is Cynthia Morse, and I am on staff with the Diakonos Counseling. I am visiting with my pastor, Howard Cordell, and we are discussing the topic of sexual purity. Pastor, can you please tell our viewers how many years you have been pastoring?
Yes, I'm in my 33rd year of pastoring.
And I understand that you are the president of an organization called the MMF. What is that about?
The Midwest Ministers Fellowship is an affiliation of pastors and churches throughout the Midwest, and we do mediation, counseling, conflict resolution, human and financial resourcing.
So about how many pastors are you pastoring?
In our organization, there's 250 pastors and churches.
I wanted to read a clip from a book called Beneath the Surface by Bob Record and just get your reaction to it. He says a confidential survey was conducted among 350 men from a dozen evangelical denominations, according to Patrick A. Means in Men's Secret Wars. Of these, 64% struggle with sexual addiction or sexual compulsion, including, but not limited to, using pornography, compulsive masturbation, or other secret sexual activity. Does that number, 64%, seem high to you?
Yeah, it's in the ballpark. Our numbers run about 70%. 37% are pastors that struggle with pornography and have been struggling with it some time and are currently pastoring churches. So it's a pandemic, and it's overwhelming at the time.
So when you have a gentleman come into your office that is struggling with sexual acting out of some sort, what would be your initial response to that?
Well, first thing, we would be sure that their wives were aware of the issue, and if not, we would bring them into it. And then we would recommend them to get long-term counseling for a long-term problem. I think there are some pastors that are equipped to handle it, but again, the problem is so overwhelming they don't have the time that's necessary to really help them through the process. So we usually recommend someone such as yourself or the organization that you work with as a resource for these men.
The Men's Accountability Group is one of working. It's a 12-step program, so it's not just a group where you go and just talk and visit, but you're actually working on a curriculum in recovery. So you have the counseling piece, you have the men's group, and then there's a partners group for women that I head every Saturday morning at 8 o'clock. We have this support group that is our own working group. There are 2 different organizations that I'm familiar with that have 3-day intensive programs. In Minnesota, there's a group from Faithful and True. It's Dr. Mark Lasser. He heads up a group, and then in Colorado, Dr. Doug Weiss heads up a group through his ministry, Heart to Heart Ministry. Both of those are 3-day intensive programs that are for the individual, but can also include the wife with couples therapy. So that is a good jump start for the recovery process.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
Well, thank you so much for taking time with me today. I think this interview was just really to reach those who are broken and hurting and are really wanting to be free of any kind of sexual addiction. Thank you for taking time.
You're welcome.
Today.